That's what Dave does. He can see these things and put them together. That's what he does.
It's here, we like looking at it out the window. You know, it's part of what we are, what we do.
Unless it's absolutely perfect, it won't leave the workshop.
And then this will be the next set of Thomas Frank's salad bars and tables. Yeah. I'm David Hughes.
And Joanne Hughes, and we're Wood & Ferrell.
I started off in arboriculture as a tree surgeon years and years ago, 92, and worked for myself for quite a few years. So
my background, very different. An executive assistant, HR as well, for a construction company, and then on to an international events company. And sadly I was made redundant through COVID with that, so I started helping Dave in the workshop.
And then we started Wood & Ferrell together in 2020.
Come up with an idea to start a business, you know, wrap up what Dave did, made a website, and it just flew, really. You just moved down from North Wales, hadn't you?
North Wales, yeah.
To come and live with me, and he started in my dad's shed.
Which we then went into more furniture, tables, as opposed to beams and timber framing. I would make the tables and Joanne is expert at finishing the tables, so we thought it'd be a perfect match and a great business.
I had an Etsy shop, and I was selling the chef's blocks, and at Christmas time they were getting very busy, and I had a client that had ordered a few, so I thought, well, I'll jump in the car and deliver these. And that's when I met Frank, and he loved, you know, the unique artisan suppliers. And then I got Dave and Frank to me, and it basically, grew from there. You know, Dave and Frank talk the same language when it comes to
wood, and loves timber, especially burr timber like this, which is why he's chosen to try these for his salad bars for his locations. Yeah. When a client comes to us and I first ask what they'd like, their request, and they explain it and describe it, I can almost see it immediately in my mind's eye what they're putting across, and I know where every piece of wood is that we've got, and I know which log to choose it from, and just the layout, how I've already going to design it in my mind, you know. These particular logs, we milled them up last March, so they're almost a year milled. We actually traditionally dry for 2 years, so 1 inch per year, depending on the thickness of the boards. These are all table sort of thickness boards, so these are like 60 mil, and these will have 1 more year, and then they'll go into a kiln, and then we kiln them. They're only in the kiln probably 2 weeks, and then they'll come out at 10%, the optimum moisture content, and then we'll put them into our barns, and then they're all kind of 2.4s to 3.3s, kind of decent sized dining table lengths.
Yeah, like my dad, you know, started helping Dave before I did. Hours and hours of timber helping Dave and getting the business up and going. It was a, you know, key part of our business.
What made you start wanting to help out Dave and the...
Father of the bride. Part of the deal. To see firewood turn into these bespoke pieces of furniture, I mean, it's quite amazing what you can do. That's what Dave does. He can see these things and put them together. That's what he does.
We try to mill logs that are varying widths for varying sizes of table, really. And then this will be the next set of Thomas Frank's salad bars and tables. Yeah. So once we've selected the wood, it then has to be planed up on our machines and then prepared, debarked, all the soft edges taken off. We either joint them if they need it or stabilise them. These tables have got stress grooves in them and C-channel fixed to keep them stable. So we use these techniques to keep them as flat as possible. And all the burrs and knots are Joanne's department.
Unless it's absolutely perfect, it won't leave the workshop. This is a hard wax oil, really great oil for tables. So what we use is a scrubby pad which gets the oil into the grain of the timber for maximum protection. And then I'd leave that for a few hours and then give it another buff just to make sure if any of the oil starts to seep out of the grain, just buff it off. And then eventually you end up with one of these.
Because it's so varied, it's not the same every day. Even though we produce tables, which is, you know, a table's a table, they're not. It's because every piece that we use is absolutely unique.
You know, a lot of our things can have a bit of a backstory to them, which makes it interesting, and we like to give our timber a lot of respect, actually.
For me, it's the making of something new each day that keeps me going, and I've got a passion for it, I always have.